Dawson Rider Review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the second episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers second season, Save Our Shores. This episode was part generic Power Rangers filler PSA, part episode about Blaze and Roxy getting their Robo forms. Let's just talk about the sort of message of the week right away to get it out of the way. I thought it was fine. I think it was far from the worst one, not really the best one. I don't think it was like the most heavy-handed one we've ever had, you know, but it's not like it was the most amazing one either. But, you know, I'm an animal guy, so it's hard for me not to get behind something that's like, save the turtles! Where are the turtles? Where are they? It wasn't that bad. There's definitely some sort of roll your eyes moments where you can sort of see what they're trying to do. I still feel, and again, it's weird to critique this, because it's not like I'm trying to critique the message. It's just about the way they deliver it. I think the way Power Rangers delivers the messages is still out of date. Like, it seems like a relic of like 90s PSAs, and I wish there was a better way to integrate it a little bit. But yeah, so that was a thing. Involved in that, though, was a guest star for this episode, which you may have recognized, which was the same actress that played Elsa in Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And she was playing the aunt of, wasn't she the aunt? I think she was the aunt of Roxy, who works for Collins Industries, which a lot of people thought was going to be a Time Force tie-in. I mean, I don't want to rule anything out. I think it was just for this episode, but just to cover myself, in case later down the road they decide to somehow directly tie it to Wes Collins from Time Force. Maybe, but I don't think so. Probably just a nod, or maybe they didn't even know. I think it's almost more likely that they just came up with the name Collins and didn't even know. And even though it's the actress that played Elsa, she's playing an entirely new character. There's no ties to Elsa or even hints at it, which isn't that unexpected. It's not like it's the first time we've used actors that have been on the show before, and Sentai does it all the time. But given that we're doing the Dino team-up this year, how amazing would it have been to tie it in somehow and had this actually be Elsa, who now works for this company, and tee up an Easter egg and a foreshadowing for the Dino team-up later. I think that was a huge missed opportunity. Like, if we weren't doing the Dino team-up and this was just any other season, yeah, but since we're doing it, and they got the actress back, she's obviously willing to come back to Power Rangers, how amazing would it have been to set it up here and then have Elsa be one of the villains in the Dino team-up? Because it would have been a perfect, cool story for her to want to make amends for what she did by doing something like a charity project, tie that in, and then you have her get close to Roxy, who, even though it was her avatar, maybe also wants to make amends for what she did. That could have been a cool, reoccurring storyline in this season, with both Roxy and Elsa being villains who weren't in control of themselves. Have that be tied together, and then have Elsa be there for the team-up. Would have been cool, but I feel like it's way beyond what Power Rangers kind of quality is right now. That's not to say that I don't like Beast Morphers, but it's like something that I wouldn't expect them to do. But a lot of potential there. But anyway, the main plot, or like the main plot-driven stuff dealing with Ranger stuff, did have to do with us finally getting our Robo, Blaze, and Roxy, and 100% confirmation that they are indeed, given the names, robot copies of them. The Scrozzle scans them during the episode, and he's able to basically use the robot parts and their backup memories from them as avatars to create the Robo versions, using Enter's original costume and then the different original costume from Escape. And the interesting thing about them too is that they can blow them up and they can just reset them constantly. So like, even if they get destroyed, they're always being reset. I thought it would have been kind of interesting if they had their memories from, because like when they woke them up, they had their memories from right when they were destroyed during Beast Morphers. But it would have been interesting if their last memory was when they were good again as the Rangers. But yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that. Like, I think on the one hand, it is kind of interesting and cool to have two of the characters running around, meaning we get to see them deliver their performances as Evil, Blaze, and Roxy, and I think they both do a good job at doing Evil, sometimes hamming it up a little bit, but in a good way. But then having their good counterparts around for the whole season to potentially have storylines with it. I really, really hope they don't miss the opportunity to take advantage of that being interesting. And again, even though I know it technically was like a copy of them, I want them to deal with that in some real way. I think there's some interesting potential there. So I think there is interesting potential having both of them around. There's part of me that would have almost liked them to have been just original avatars from the whole series and had them rescued. But there's some interesting potential here that I really hope that they do not waste. It does seem weird that I want to know like if they are involved in Grid Battle Force, because again, they were both qualified enough to be Rangers, and even though Devin and Zoe became the Rangers by accident, it seems weird that they wouldn't be involved now. And again, without creating new Sentai suits, it would be weird to make them Rangers because they would have to create whole new suits and stuff like that. But I hope they're involved in some way, because they mentioned that like this shore job is a new, or this Collins thing is a new job for Roxy. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's not working at Grid Battle Force, because remember Devin? Dude had to find jobs all the time to keep his cover because apparently Grid Battle Force couldn't help him out. But I guess like my point is that I hope that they're utilized more with that, and I hope that they don't squander that opportunity, because if they're gonna do this split thing, I think there's a lot of really cool potential with it. Definitely reminds me a lot of Evil White Ranger Trent and then regular Trent after we turned him good. But I like that we get to see both. I think that opens up potential, and again, kind of like when I talked about the Elsa stuff, I don't 100% trust them to take full advantage of it, but I hope they don't do nothing with it and Blaze and Roxy don't just become reoccurring boring characters. I think there's some cool potential there, and I'd like to see them be more involved with Grid Battle Force at some point. And again, if this was any other series where they could just make their own stuff like normal, it would be cool to see them Ranger up again as new Rangers, but we'll have to see. But they basically set that up. You know, they foreshadowed the Evox is using another body, but they didn't show it, even though they just showed it's Mayor Daniels in the trailer. They showed his new base area with a bunch of crystals, which they comment on. I don't know whether they commented on that just to establish that, oh, hey, these are here now, or if that's going to mean something different. I don't know. Also, when they showed like the Mayor Daniels thing, even though they didn't show him, and they mentioned like, oh, you can't use that body too much, or you know, it might be messing with your virus. I couldn't help but think it also could have been a cool idea to have Blaze and Roxy also have that problem where it was basically their alternate personalities taking over their bodies. Like, how cool would it have been to have Mayor Daniels been like, well, Blaze and Roxy, now that you're not Rangers, let me recruit you to help at the mayor's office. And then they're all secretly working evil, but they don't know it. You know, it's like, it's almost like early evil Trent, where they just snap evil without knowing it. That could have been a cool way to go about it too. But again, I feel like this review is me just fanficking Beast Morphers. I thought it was a decent episode. Message a little heavy-handed, but the Blaze and Roxy stuff was cool. It was mostly solid and I enjoyed it. I'd give it a 7. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy the debut of Robo, Blaze, and Roxy? Do you wish they would have done something different with it? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications from my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.